The Israel-Palestine conflict, a story that has shaped the modern world for over a century. A conflict rooted in land identity and history, often told in fragments but rarely as a full timeline. Today we're going to explore the entire history of this conflict, from the early 1900s all the way to today. No jargon, no blame, just fact. Let's start in the early 20th century. The land we now call Israel and Palestine was then part of the Ottoman Empire, a vast empire that ruled much of the Middle East for centuries. This area was mainly inhabited by Arab Muslims and Christians, with a smaller Jewish population. In the late 1800s, a movement called Zionism began among Jews in Europe. Zionism aimed to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine, inspired by centuries of connection to the land and rising anti-Semitism in Europe. Meanwhile, the Arab population was focused on their own national identity and aspirations. World War I changed everything. In 1917, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration, promising to support the creation of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. At the same time, Britain had promised Arab leaders independence for supporting the war effort. After the war, the Ottoman Empire collapsed. Britain took control of Palestine under the League of Nations. Tensions grew between Jewish immigrants, who were increasing in number, and the Arab population who feared losing their land and rights. Violence erupted in the 1920s and 1930s. After World War II and the horrors of the Holocaust, international sympathy for the Jewish cause increased. The United Nations proposed a partition plan in 1947, dividing Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international control. The Jewish leaders accepted the plan, the Arab leaders rejected it. In 1948, Israel declared independence. War broke out immediately between the new state and neighboring Arab countries. By the end of the war, Israel controlled more land than the UN plan had allotted. Over 700,000 Palestinians became refugees, an event Palestinians call the Nakba or catastrophe. The conflict didn't end there. The 1956 Suez Crisis saw Israel and other powers confront Egypt. In 1967, the Six-Day War dramatically changed the map. Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza, Strip, East Jerusalem, Sinai Peninsula, and Golan Heights. This war deepened tensions. Palestinians in these occupied territories faced military rule. The 1973 Yom Kippur War saw a surprise attack by Egypt and Syria, but Israel held its ground. In 1964, the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO, was formed to represent Palestinian interests. In 1987, frustration exploded into the First Intifada, a popular uprising against Israeli occupation in the West Bank and Gaza. It lasted until the early 1990s, leading to international pressure to find peace. In 1993, the Oslo Accords brought hope. For the first time, Israel and the PLO recognized each other. The Accords created limited Palestinian self-rule in parts of the West Bank and Gaza, but the peace was fragile. Disputes over settlements, refugees, and Jerusalem remained unresolved. By 2000, the peace process collapsed. The Second Intifada erupted, marked by violence on both sides. The early 2000s saw a rise in violent suicide bombings, Israeli military responses, and a tightening blockade on Gaza. In 2005, Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza, but maintained control of borders, airspace, and sea. Hamas, a Palestinian group opposed to Israel's existence, gained control of Gaza in 2007. Repeated wars between Hamas and Israel followed, causing thousands of casualties and worsening humanitarian conditions. The West Bank remains divided, with Palestinian Authority governance and expanding Israeli settlements. Today, the conflict remains deeply entrenched. Jerusalem remains a central and emotional flashpoint. Palestinians seek statehood recognition and rights. Israel emphasizes security and historical claims. Peace talks have stalled. The international community is divided. Understanding this conflict means seeing the stories of people, on both sides, caught in a decades-long struggle over identity, security, and home. It's a story without easy answers, but knowing the history helps us move beyond headlines and opinions. What part of this history surprised you? Where do you think the path to peace lies? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you want more deep dives into complex history, subscribe and hit the bell.